The average household size in a certain region several years ago was 3.14 persons due to housing shortages and an increase in population. A sociologist believes that the average household size has increased since then. The sociologist takes a sample of 75 households and finds that the average household size is now 3.39 persons with a standard deviation of 0.82 persons. Test the sociologist claim at 0.10 level of significance. So the null hypothesis states that the mean is equal to 3.14, and then the claim is the mean has increased. Now it's greater than 3.14. Now we're going to use the testing hypothesis for means. So I'm going to go to Master Excel workbook and I will use testing hypothesis for means, or hypothesis testing for means. And I'm going to plug in my numbers. So the mean, null mean is 3.14. The type of test is greater than. The sample mean, 3.39, and the sample standard deviation is 0.82. The sample size is 75, and alpha was 0.1. Now, according to that, we can find the test statistic and we can find the p-value. So the test statistic and the p-value, the test statistic is 2.64 and p-value is 0.005. The decision here, because p-value is less than alpha, we're going to say we reject the null hypothesis, which means we have enough evidence, sample evidence, or sufficient sample evidence to support the claim. What is our claim? Our claim is that the average household size has increased. So that is basically the claim from the context of the question. If the conclusion from part C were actually an error, what would be type 1 or type 2 error? Explain what it would imply. So in this case, if the conclusion from part C was wrong, which means we rejected the null hypothesis, but the null hypothesis is still true, that means we are actually doing a type 1 error, as I explained here. And that implies that the average household did not increase, and in fact, it's still 3.14. The average household is still 3.14 and it has not increased. So that is what type 1 error means in this context.